Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to look at how to calculate the relative frequency. This is a frequency distribution table. The first column is the color of cars. The second column is the frequencies, which means the number of cars. From this description, this is about total collision loss that involve different colors of cars. For example, the first row, say we have 25, which means in this report, among all of the cars involved in total loss collisions, 25 of them are blue cars. So that's how we read this table. Now, how do we calculate the relative frequencies? So basically, relative frequency is very much like a percentage, which is the result of using one number divided by the total. For example, if you want to calculate, say, how many percent of students in the classroom wear glasses, how do we do that? Basically, we need to have two numbers. First, how many students wear glasses? Second, how many students in total in the classroom? Then we use the number of students who wear glasses divided by the total number of students, and that will give us a decimal, and then we convert it to a percent. That's how we find percent. Basically, using a number divided by the total. Now we do the relative frequency in a very similar way. We would use each of these frequencies divided by the total frequency. So now we need to calculate the total frequency. And when you do calculation in Excel, you can use any cell. You don't have to use this one right below. I use that because I want to organize my numbers so that they look neat. Other than that, you can use any cell to do the calculation. So we do the total by using the sum function in Excel. So whenever you use Excel to do any calculation, make sure you start with equal sign. So now I'm going to have an opening parenthesis. Then we select all of our data. Then close it. Now hit enter button, we should get the total. So that's our total frequency. Now it's time to do the division. So I'm going to have this relative frequencies in this column. Now there are two different ways to do that. I'm going to show you both. Equals. First, don't type in any number. The reason we want to use Excel is that we want to do things more efficiently. We don't want to do the division one by one. Otherwise, what's the difference than using a paper and pencil or calculator, right? We just want to do this calculation once, then we want the Excel to do the rest automatically. Let's see how we do that. First, you click the first number you want to use to divide by 216. So this cell E15 contains 25. Then divide by, now you have two choices. Either you just type in the 216, or 16, enter, so you get a result, right? And then you highlight this cell because the cell contains formula. Then you drag it down by putting your cursor on top of this small square in this corner here. When your cursor is on top of it, it will change the shape. So don't drag it down until it changes the shape. See, change the shape, drag it down. You got all of the calculation. Then you can do any rounding you want. Actually, if you want to do, say, you round to the third digits, you can put this button up here. This one, this two. Give you different decimal numbers. Say digit too many. Say round to third digit, you got all of the rounding results. That's just up to you, depend on how many digits you want. Now, this is one way to do that. There's another way to do that. Say, let me roll it back. Okay. Let me roll it back. And let me just clear this. How many steps to roll it back? Okay, another way to do that is equals, you click this cell that contains 25 divided by, then you can type, you can click on 216. So this is a cell in red or brown red. E21 contains 216. Now enter, so you get the same answer, right? I drag it down. Now I'm going to get error messages. I want you guys to see the error messages, something wrong for sure, but I want you to see that something wrong first. Then I show you how to do it correctly. Drag it down. So you get all of these wrong messages divided by 0, and the first one is correct. Now let's look at what actually happened. The first one, if you look at the formula, E15 divided by E21. E15, this is a column E15 here, contains 25, and that is correct. We want to use 25 divided by 216. Where is 216? Column E, row 21, see, divided by 216, and that is correct. So our formula is E15 divided by E21, that's right. Let's look at the second formula, second entry, the formula. Look at it up here. E16 contains, say, 52. We want this number, 52 divided by 216, that's right. But what is the other one? E22. E column 22, that's here. That is the cell below 216, and there's no number in there, that's 0. That's why you divide by 0. And when we calculate the relative frequency, we want to use each of these frequency numbers divided by the same 216. We don't want to change 216. In other words, we don't want Excel to move one cell down after we do the first division, right? We want to fix the location 216. But we only want to move this number from 25 to 52 to 41 and down the column, but we don't want to move 216. How do we tell the Excel to do just that? So now I'm going to show you how to do that. Let me clear this message. And back to this original. After you have this cell location E21, you want to have this $sign in front of the letter, that's column location. Also in front of this number, row 21, row location, you want to have a $sign in front of them. So $sign, you can manually type in. This way, this is the way to tell Excel, don't move this E21. I want 216 stay the same. And then you just highlight the cell and move it down. You get all of the correct answer now. If you look at the formula again, E21. Next one, E21. It won't move it anymore. So you just need to insert $sign to fix that column and row. And there's another way to insert the $sign. Let's say, let's go back to E21. So when this is blinking, it doesn't have to blink at the end. Anywhere in this red region here. When it is blinking, you can type F4 button. Say F4 button on your keyboard. This is for Windows computer. I don't know which button, which key to press on the Mac computer. I don't know that, but this is for the Windows button. But for the Windows machine. But anyway, you can manually type it in, okay? It's blinking, I just push F4 button, I get both $signs. Then you go from there. And you drag it down. By the way, let me mention this. As long as these two columns adjacent and their data, you can also double click on this when the cursor changes the shape. You can double click, you can also drag it down. Now, finally, the total sum of these relative frequencies will be always 1. Always 1. So let's do a sum. And then that's exactly 1. Just like in the pie graph, you see a percentage on each slice, right? When you add those percentages together, you always get 100%, which is 1. And that being said, when you do a homework problem, since you're using each number divided by this total, you get all those decimal numbers. Usually, homework problems will require you to round your answer to a certain number of decimal digits, right? When you round it, you have rounding errors. Once you have rounding errors, it won't add to exactly 1. But it should be really, really close to 1. When you answer this question, if they ask you what is the total frequency, you still answer with 1 or 100% either way. But if your sum is way off from 1, that is not rounding error anymore. That's something wrong in your calculation. It's not rounding error anymore. Just make sure when you answer your homework questions and the total sum of relative frequency is always 1 or 100%. And that's all for this video. Make comments below this YouTube video if you have any questions or any suggestions. See you in the next video.